Okay. On the whiteboard there is an image. I would like you to pick up your whiteboard pen and first of all, without talking, split your whiteboard into 3 equal parts. Okay. And what I'd like you to do is have another look at this picture, and I would like you to write down 2 questions. So on the left-hand side, on one of your parts, write down Q for questions. And in the middle, can you write the letter F for feelings? Any feelings that it might bring to you. And on the other one, can you write the word facts, so F-A. Okay. Questions, feelings, facts. And you've got a couple of minutes to see if you can write 2 questions, 2 feelings, and 2 facts that this picture makes you feel, question, or some fact comes into your mind. Try and write 2 things for each. You might not get 2 done, but just try. Questions, feelings, and facts. So I started you off doing this by yourself, but I'm going to give you another minute now to carry on, but you can talk to your partners about this now and see if you can get 2 of each. You can talk now.
What do you think? Why do they want to build a house in that kind of area?
Maybe. Any facts?
When's that going to be? It's going to be is it says in the countryside, but I can't know. Yeah. Okay, let's think about facts. I didn't think that it wasn't exactly photo. It wasn't exactly photo. It's more like a draw picture. Yeah. It's weird saying taken. Yeah.
Or, yeah, it could be a church because churches have points in.
In the fact,
Well, not our
church.
church.
It is the church. That's what I wrote in the facts.
3, 2, and 1. Let's start with facts. Who's got a fact they can tell me about this place?
The middle building is the bridge workhouse.
Okay, who's got another fact then about this picture?
It's in the countryside.
Okay. And now I'm going to ask you any feelings that this made you feel.
It looks like quite calm and it looks like quite a nice place to be with all the animals, although inside it might not be quite the same.
Calm place, right. Although inside it might not be so calm, as we've found out, haven't we?
It's quite miserable, really, because inside the workhouses, everybody had to do jobs that they were supposed to do, so it'll be quite miserable.
You feel it's a miserable place inside the workhouse. Outside it's calm, countryside, inside it's a miserable place because of the way that they were treated. Okay, can we have a feeling from Joshua?
I think it looks like quite cosy around the outside, but maybe like inside it you feel like you're pressured all the time.
Feel pressured, maybe the people inside feel pressured. Okay, has anybody got any questions now?
My question is, who painted this?
Ah, so you think this is a painting and it's who's the painter? Good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Were families allowed to go into the outside in the countryside instead of just staying in the workhouse?
Were families allowed to go into the countryside? Does anybody know the answer to that or what they think the answer is?
I don't think they were allowed out because when we went to the close,
the man said that it was like a prison and they weren't allowed out.
So we've got an answer to that question. Okay.
My question is, why have they shaped it like that?
Why is it that shape, that square shape with a courtyard in the middle? Would anyone like to answer that? Why was it shaped as a square?
Maybe because, like, a triangle or it was a circle, but a square would fit in more people.
Maybe. Okay, would you like to just put your hands down? I'd like you to have a look at the smartboard, and I'm going to play you a show of some pictures that I took when we went to the workhouse. And I just want you to be thinking, as this is going on, who might have lived in the workhouse? Which kind of people? And if you wanted to jot some of those people down while the slideshow is going on, you can. Maybe you want to turn your whiteboard over, or you could just watch the show, okay? It's just going to go through slide by slide. Write down if you want, or wait till the end. Who would have lived there? Don't worry too much on you, because you didn't come on the trip, did you? Going around again, if you'd like to just, if you haven't written any down, I want you to write at least 3 different people that lived there. And I'm going to show you a list. And I'd like you to tell me if you've got anyone that I haven't got. Okay, you see the list just there? Anyone got anyone that I haven't got? I've got. Who have you got, Armine?
A doctor.
The doctor works in the infirmary. Well done.
The elderly people.
Right. Some of
The poor elderly people.
poor elderly people. Okay, as well as the young people who live there, we've got elderly people.
The governors, like the people that like just the clerks, like the clerks' governors.
Clerk's governor. So the clerk, we understood, was the master of the whole workhouse, but he also had a group of governors who would help him run the workhouse. Well done.
The master.
The master, the clerk or the master who lived there. Okay, if you'd just like to put your hands down, we have matron, the clerk, the porter, the tailor. The porter was the person who saw the people come out. He controlled the gate. Okay, what I'd like you to do now is rub off. Don't rub your list off, but make sure you've got a space on your whiteboard. And I'm going to get you to keep this secret, what you're about to write. Okay, secret from me, secret from those around you, so you can write it small. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to make a choice of a character that you're going to become in a moment. Think about which one just sticks out to you that you want to explore. Okay? So you're going to make a choice now. You can do that now. You've got about 30 seconds to make a choice. Maybe you're an inmate, one of the children. Maybe you're the cook. Maybe you're the matron, the teacher. Make a decision and don't tell anyone about it. You don't even have to write it down, actually. You can just keep it in your mind. Okay, good. I think we're almost all there. Okay, you can take your hand off your shoulder now. Right, now what I want you to do is you're going to have choice in a moment. You're going to have a choice. These are 3 choices, okay, of how to show your character and how they might have felt in the workhouse. Okay? So, the choice is, in a moment, you're either going to stand up and you're going to be a freeze frame. You're going to hold a position of perhaps maybe it's a boy worker smashing up the rocks. You're going to hold a position, okay? That's one choice, to come up and physically be that person. Another choice is to draw a little picture of your person. Try not to look at anyone else's though. A little picture and have a thought bubble about how they might be feeling when they were doing whatever they were doing. So that's the second choice, to have a picture with a thought bubble. And the third choice is just to write about it. Write about how you might be feeling. So you can do that in the first person. So think about what that character might have been doing. So you've got three choices. Either you're going to stand up and you're going to adopt a position, and I might ask you how you feel, so you might have to say it. Or you can draw a picture, or you can just start writing about it, about writing. So I want to know how that person might have felt in the workhouse. How might they have felt in the workhouse?
When you stand up, do you say like what you're feeling?
Yeah, when you stand up, I'm going to ask you what you're feeling, and you're going to have to say it. So you've got to think about it. You might want to write that down or think about it.
I'm worried about the fact that he's going to get beaten by somebody. Is it going to be by one of the other inmates, or is it going to be by the governor or something like that? Which one? Inmate or a governor? So one of the grown-ups or one of the other inmates? Is that which one is he worried about? One of the grown-ups?
Yeah.
Okay, so what would he be thinking? What would your character be thinking there? Show me what he'd be thinking. Have a bit of a speech about coming out.
Who chose the physical one? Who chose, they're going to stand up and show me a position, and I'm going to ask you how you feel. Right. Hang on. I want you to show me a position that you might be in. Without talking, physically with your body.
Maybe like that.
You're like that. Okay, you can move with it. Right, and I'm going to ask you how you feel. I'm going to try and guess who you are, okay? So, how do you feel?
Really upset and annoyed because all I do all day is split ropes, and I've so many blisters.
All I do all day is split ropes.
Yeah, and I have so many blisters on my forehand.
Got so many blisters on your forehand. First of all, who do we think he is? What kind of a character of the workhouse is he?
Isn't he the person who splits the ropes in the workhouse to make the boats waterproof?
Right, to make the boats waterproof. He's the person who splits the ropes in the house. So he would have been a staff member or a worker?
Worker.
He's a worker, the boy or girl worker. Is that correct, Elliot? You said, Elliot, that you felt really upset and in pain. And why were you upset?
Because my mum and dad are dead and I'm an orphan here.
Your mum and dad is dead and you're an orphan. It's bad. You said you're also in pain. Why are you in pain?
Because the blisters from splitting ropes.
Because you've been splitting ropes all day. Horrible. Thank you, Elliot. Who else is going to give us one of the actions? You don't have to say anything yet. Just give us the action. Right, Zoe. Without saying the name of your character, how are you feeling?
Well, I'm kind of feeling quite happy, but also sad and tired as well at the same time.
Okay. Why are you feeling happy and sad and tired all at the same time?
Well, I'm not like... Well, I guess I am working, but I still have... I guess I'm... I don't know. I'm just happy because I'm not... I have like a family though.
You have a family. You're allowed to see them in the workhouse.
They're not at the workhouse though.
Ah, okay. Any guesses?
Cook.
You're the cook. So you're actually a staff member of the workhouse, aren't you? Okay, just put your hands down now. Who decided to draw a picture and do a thought bubble? Right. Would you mind if I read your thought bubble out? And then people might guess. Right, so we've got a little girl, and she seems to be having her hand around a big sort of bucket or bowl. Well, you're not going to tell me, are you? It says, I get paid for my job. No one even likes my food. Who might she be?
Cook.
Is that correct? Right, you are the cook. How do you feel?
I feel sort of happy that I get paid, but I feel quite offended that no one likes my food.
Feel offended that no one likes your food. Why are you offended because no one likes your food? Because what do you have to serve them?
Gruel.
Gruel, yeah, not great, is it? Not the best cook in the world. You can't exactly do all French or Japanese or interesting cooking in the workhouse, can you? Right, well done. Okay, who decided to just write about what they did, about how they felt, without any pictures or anything? Did anyone decide to do that? Bit of a mixture? Okay, right, we're going to move on now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what we're going to be able to do by the end of the lesson, just so that you're clear. Okay. So here's some of the pictures of the people you might have become. The teacher, the orphan, the clerk, the matron, or something. Okay, so our LI today is to be able to empathise, to be able to put ourselves in other people's shoes and think about how they're feeling and maybe why. So by the end of the lesson, you're going to be able to show the thoughts and feelings of your chosen character and explain why they felt like that. Could you put your hand up if you think you could already do, if you can do that? Well, from what we've already done, you can show the thoughts and feelings of your chosen character and explain why they felt like that. Some of you have already done that, haven't you? Okay. You're also going to be able to show you understand what life was like for the people in the workhouse. Could you put your hand up if you think you're going to be able to do that today? Okay, already done that quite a lot, haven't we? Show your historical understanding. Who's started to do that already on their whiteboard? Showing what it was like, what were the differences. Okay? And we're going to do this through recording a diary entry. So we're going to do a diary of the person that you have chosen, but it's just, we're going to do a little piece of a diary we call an entry into a diary. Okay? So, can anyone tell me anything about diaries? If you had a success criteria for a diary, what would the basic things be that you all know already?
You've got to talk in first person.
Right, you've got to talk in the first person. So you've got to say I, my. I think we all know that. A diary is in the first person, yeah? Good, so we've got to remember that. What else is going to be a basic feature of a diary that we all know?
You would do like the start of the day to the end of the day. You wouldn't just mix up any point of the day. You wouldn't go like morning then.
Maybe you were talking about going in chronological order. Going in order. Yeah, that's okay. What about the tense of a diary? Really basic thing of a diary. It's in the what? We can all say that. It's in the past tense. So we know these things already. I don't have to be re-explain that. Okay, I'm going to show you a diary now, but we're going to look for two things which are much beyond right in the past tense and in the first person. Okay, we're going to this diary is going to show the thoughts and feelings of the character, hopefully, and also some historical details. That's what we want to include. So I'm going to read through the diary, and I would like us together to highlight it where we think it's done those two things. Okay? Where we think it's done those two things. Could you just start to hand those out? You are going to get one yourself as well, so you can read it right in front of you in a minute. Yeah, apart from this table here. Okay. Right, so I'm going to start reading, and when you think you see or hear thoughts and feelings, can you put your hand up and let me know and say where? Okay? When you hear thoughts and feelings, you tell me the thoughts and feelings of this character. It was still dark when I awoke in a cold sweat in my crowded dormitory. Today was the day I would escape this wretched place forever. You got your hand up? No? Okay. I had no idea of where to go or what to do, but I didn't care. Even prison would be better than this place. Jacob, what have you got to say there?
I think on the end line, even prison would be better than this, is thoughts and feelings about it, because it's thinking he would much rather be in prison than going to the workhouse.
Yeah, his feeling is that he would much rather be in prison, so that's a feeling that he's got. It's a thought. Well done. I'm just going to take I agree with you there, I'm going to take my highlighter and just highlight that in yellow. Thank you. Quietly and carefully, I peeled off my itchy, flea-infested blanket. If I made a sound, the matron would awake and shut me in the punishment chamber immediately. So, without a sound, I pulled on my dirty overall and slipped out into the night. The courtyard was empty, as I had hoped. My heart was thumping so loudly, I thought that someone would hear.
Would that be thoughts and feelings?
Yeah. Why is my heart was pumping so loudly? What was he feeling there?
His heart pumping really loudly.
So what does he feel?
Scared.
Yeah, he's feeling scared. So that shows that he's feeling scared. Well done. My heart was pumping so loudly I thought someone would hear. But they didn't. I crept over to the west wall, just past the tailor's shop, where I'd hidden my equipment.
Would tailor's shop be historical detail? Because I don't think we have tailor's shop anymore.
Right, so you're going on to historical detail. That's correct. Can anyone else see any other things that would say that this is from the Victorian period in a workhouse? So any other historical details in there?
The matron, because...
Right. The matron would awake. Well done, that's historical detail. Good. What I would like you to do now is just put your hands down. In the, underneath your text, you have a small square and it says, include historical details of the workhouse. It also says thoughts and feelings. We've done thoughts and feelings together. What I'd like to do is just, with your pen, do a line just like this, through the historical details square, and I would like you to go through the text and see if you can underline where else you think this shows historical detail. Okay, you can begin. I've got a different text for you lot, okay? I'm going to give you this, and you are going to look for the same things. You're going to look for historical details. You're also going to look for thoughts and feelings. There's also a third thing going on in here, and I'd like you to try and guess what you think I've tried to do in this text. Okay? Yeah, you can work. You can. Yeah, you can. You can sort. Yeah. The chamber, the punishment chamber. Underline that. Well done. Did you see that?
Yes, you
Oh, yeah.
Now, would you? Can underline that.
Tailor's shop, just past the tailor's shop. Should we underline just past the tailor's shop there?
flea-infested blanket, because you don't really have it now, do you?
Flea-infested, yeah.
Okay, so are we looking for historical detail?
Yes.
Matron. And it says matron.
Yeah, I know, I've done.
Yeah.
Dormitory? Dormitory there.
No, dormitories still use dormitories.
Tailor shop?
Yeah, tailor shop, definitely.
After.
Could you put your hand up if you managed to find some historical details that we didn't find at the beginning?
Well, there's like the crowded dormitory in the tailor's shop.
Crowded dormitory, wouldn't really have that. Now it shows it's in the Victorian workhouse, doesn't it? Okay, can we have Harrison?
Wasn't one itchy flea infested blanket?
Yeah, itchy flea infested blanket. That is not really something that in this country we would have now. It's something that maybe was very common in the Victorian period.
The punishment chamber.
Yeah, punishment chamber. Well done, Hayden. Just tell me, what is this? What's happening in this this diary entry that I've written, what's actually happening? Marco?
Well, it's basically showing how his plan to escape the workhouse because he hates
So who
it
do you
so
think my
much.
character is? I chose
A child, an inmate.
an inmate child who is escaping. So this is sort of the incident that's happened in this. But can someone from this table tell me the incident that happened in the diary entry that I gave you?
Well, there was a cook,
Yeah.
and he or she
Yeah.
asked someone to put a piece of bread in the oven,
Okay.
and then a bit of flame came out of the fire
Yeah.
and went up someone called Charlie's sleeve,
Right,
and
so
nearly
there
burnt
was
the whole place down.
a fire in the kitchen. So we have a fire in the kitchen, a boy escaping, because in a moment you're going to decide on an incident to describe in your diary entry from your character's point of view. Now I'm going to give you a choice of incidents that might take place in the workhouse. Okay? Now let's just... First of all, when you write this diary, what do you think is going to be the success criteria? What do you think I'm going to want to see in your diary entry? What do you think you need to include? Yeah?
First person instead of like third person.
Okay, first person, yeah, that goes with first person past tense. That's what we said at the beginning. What else do you think?
Correct punctuation and
Okay,
capital letters.
always, always. What about specific to this diary? Maybe things you've just been looking for.
Good vocabulary.
That's true, but what about things you've just been looking for in this diary entry?
Well, you might be looking for thoughts and feelings
Good
and
boy.
how I feel.
We're looking for thoughts and feelings of the character, your character. What else do you think I might be looking for?
Historical.
Details, yeah, historical details, just like you've just been looking for. And maybe this table might be trying, and the rest of you could have a challenge to do this as well.
To make tone of voice.
Right, they've been looking at the tone of the voice of the person. What might that character actually speak like? Would she have perfect English, or would she not, or he? Okay, so the things we're looking for are historical details, thoughts and feelings, tone of voice if you can, that table especially, because you've had an example of that, and reminders. Just make sure you keep in the past tense and the first person, okay? Yes, Marco?
You might be looking for historical accuracy of how you do stuff.
Historical accuracy, are we looking for that? Well done, from what we know from our trip. Okay, so we're going to start our diary in a moment, but we might need to think about what's going to happen in the diary entry, because we're not going to write for very long, only about 15, 20 minutes. And these are some incidents that you could write about, okay, from your character's point of view. You could have a fire in the kitchen. You could have a boy or a girl escaping. You could have a boy breaks the rules and goes into the girls' dormitory and causes chaos. You could have a boy or girl asks for more gruel, or like in Oliver, or bread and cheese, and is sent to the clerk for a whipping. You could have one of those incidents. Or if you're very, very, very clear, you might think, no, I want this to happen. And you might write your diary entry about the incident that you want to happen. Okay, when the music goes on, we know that's time for quiet writing.
Okay, what's the first thing we need in a diary? What do we always have? It would be maybe the date?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you can jot down the
We
date.
always have the date on
Okay, don't forget.
the diary.
It could be Wednesday the
It's like diary
17th of November.
Kid.
Except it's never mind.
It's like diary of a wimpy kid. He talks about himself like,
Absolutely, so you
yeah.
should be quite good at this because you've been reading that, haven't you?
yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
I awoke to the cold, crisp air brushing my face.
What do we think about that, you two? I awoke to the cold, crisp air. That's cold feelings, isn't it? Yeah, sort of. It's just really descriptive start. Anya, what do you think of I awoke to the cold, crisp air brushing my face? Do you like to, should we go with Marco's start sentence? Right, I awoke with the cold to the cold, crisp air brushing my face. Okay? Right, so that's our first sentence. So the rest of you try and write a second one now. So, itchy clothes. Okay? Reluctantly I crept out of bed and pulled on my itchy clothes. So we've got, should we highlight that as historical detail?
I've got a sentence. It's in 1832, 6th of November, it was so cold my hands could get billions of frostbite while I was cracking stones.
Brilliant. We'll put that maybe without the date bit, but with the cracking stones bit maybe later. Because remember we're writing about an escape, aren't we? But fantastic language. So at the moment we've got I awoke to the cold, crisp air brushing my face. Reluctantly I crept out of... We'll just put a line under it. I crept out of bed and pulled on my itchy clothes. What's next then?
And creaked open the door. I was sure to be found.
Okay, and crept out the door. Full stop. I was sure to be found.
I was so scared that I could almost...
I was trembling.
Yeah.
Trembling with
How about we start with trembling?
fear. Yeah.
Trembling.
Trembling with fear.
Fear.
I walked out to the freezing cold.
Should we have a better word than walked?
Plodded.
Good. Trembling.
Sneaked.
Ooh, sneaky plodding.
Trembling with fear, I plodded. Or should we have sneak? Because he's trying to be tiptoed.
Yeah, tiptoed, yeah.
Tiptoed
We could say sneaked.
out. Where is it? Out into the courtyard.
Out into the freezing night.
Into
Freezing.
the freezing night. Because it wouldn't it have snow?
Trembling with fear. What's that? Is that part of our success criteria?
Feeling.
Good. Yeah. So we highlight that, shall we?
Trembling with fear, I tiptoed out into the freezing night.
That's actually quite good.
Yeah. I think it's be like...
Do you want to come into my group? Yeah. Come into my group.
Was it called like water? Because it was kind of like...
Watermill.
Yeah.
And I tried to escape out of this stupid place.
Okay, so that's what he'd be thinking, yeah? So as he gets up, he's thinking about how he's going to
I
escape.
could put this in brackets. So I was planning to escape from this stupid place and run away.
Okay,
To my mum's only friend's house.
lovely. Come on then, let's get that down on your whiteboard.
I hoped the Lonesome Moonlight wouldn't be. Yeah, that's brilliant. I hoped the Lonesome Moonlight wouldn't give away my position.
I've got my hiding.
Well, actually, I've got quite
Now, what's that as the success criteria then?
full
I
stop.
hope the Lonesome Moonlight
Would it
wouldn't
be
give away my position.
feeling?
Not
Yeah, because he's hoping something, isn't he? So that's another green. We need to get some historical
you can just
detail.
click on that 'cause it's already green.
That's true,
Oh,
yeah.
I know.
Should we think about some historical detail? Who might sort of see
We
him?
could include the matron or a
No,
tailor.
I've got one. I've got one.
Go on, Grace.
Then I just heard a bit of
the deep voice of the matron
Good.
coming my way.
Right. Or should we say suddenly? Suddenly, I heard the matron's deep voice. It's building up tension, isn't it?
The deep
Of the matron coming my way, as you said.
I've got one.
So the matron would be historical, won't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did that then make him feel? Did that give him the opportunity then to be able to... That's right, to see what and where he was going without knocking into beds and waking other people up. So how could we put that in a sentence, Harrison?
I don't know.
Okay.
How do you think that would be making you feel inside? If it was you, if you woke up in your bedroom at midnight and you were going downstairs to the cupboard to sneak some sweeties and the moon was shining through your bedroom window,
Finish the sentence you're on.
would that make your life a bit easier?
Yeah.
Would you have to turn any lights
It'll
on?
make it very easy.
Okay, so would it be making his life a lot easier?
Yeah.
Who thinks that they've managed to include thoughts and feelings? Okay, who's managed to include, a little bit weak here, historical details? Who's managed the challenge of including tone of voice? They've made their speak. Rebecca, tone of voice? Would you mind if I read some of yours out, Rebecca? Is that okay? Rebecca thinks she's included the tone of the voice of the... Okay. Dear Diary, yesterday I had a really bad dream, so I woke up and I thought about something else. By the way, if you see one of these success criteria, just put your hand up. It didn't work. I tried waking someone up, but no one would awake. I had a plan, but it was risky. I had done it before, but I was lucky that time. Kind of tone of voice, isn't it? I decided to do it. I was going to break the boys' dormitory. Historical detail. And wake up my brother. I slipped off my moth-eaten, flea-ridden blanket. Historical detail. I couldn't make a sound, otherwise the matron would hear me and put me in the punishment chamber. Well done. So that was obviously the boy you chose to be. Yeah? The girl, sorry. The girl escaping. Yeah? Okay. On the board, we've got what we wrote as a group over there. And I was wondering if anyone could see any thoughts and feelings in this piece of writing. Anyone see any thoughts and feelings?
Maybe the trembling with fear, because maybe that's what they were thinking. Like I was really scared.
Yeah, trembling with fear. He was really scared. That shows his thoughts and feelings. Well done. Is there another one in there?
Reluctantly.
Yeah, he was reluctant. Where he says reluctantly. That's how he was feeling, wasn't it? And you came up with that word. Well done. Okay, we'll keep it on there then.
Show your historical understanding. Make the reader of your diary understand what life was like for one of the characters in the workshop.
Yeah.
If you think you've managed this in the lesson, I want you to give me a big 10. If you think you haven't managed it at all, you give me 1. If you think you've managed it half, give me 5. So give me how many out of 10 you think you managed this. Okay, so have you been able to show the thoughts and feelings of your chosen character and also at the beginning of the lesson explain why they would have felt like that? Good, we've got lots of 10s there, lots of 8s. Okay, Have you shown you understand what life was like for people in the workhouse in your diary? Have you shown that? Have you shown what it was like? Have you shown your historical understanding? Out of 10? Hayden, you going to do that? You're going to show me? And we've done that through a diary entry. So well done, everybody.